Perhaps the most well-known Magic card is the Black Lotus. A Black Lotus could cost you around $20,000. A Mox Emerald, another famous Magic card, is like $5,000. Have you ever wanted to know what it feels like to play with these legendary cards? Maybe you want to draft your favorite set over and over again without buying a million booster packs. The Cube format of Magic the Gathering lets you do all that and more. I just got back from CubeCon, and I'm convinced that Cube might be my favorite way to play Magic the Gathering. Over the weekend, I drafted 6 very different cubes, and I'm already desperate to play more Cube. In one game, beer was my life total. In another game, I drafted a real Mox Emerald, which I proceeded to play in my Is It, or red-blue spell-slinging deck. In another, I drafted 3 different versions of Galadriel, dressed as Galadriel. The mono-green Galadriel card was my pack one, pick one, meaning the first pack of cards I looked at had Galadriel, and I snagged her before passing the stack of cards to the person to my left for them to pick a card. The other 2 Galadriel cards were passed to me, and for one of them, I looked at the other 2 people next to me and told them how shocked I was that the card made it to me. Both guys said they passed it to me on purpose, so thank you. But this does tie into one of the many reasons I think Cube might be my favorite way to play Magic. Magic the Gathering offers tons of ways to enjoy the game. And I found that generally, most people I've met playing Magic are incredibly friendly and nice. The people at CubeCon were next level nice. Everyone was so welcoming, so friendly, and the atmosphere of the event was truly one of a kind. In Cube, you draft a deck from a limited pool of cards that have been curated by the Cube's designer. When you build a cube, you essentially get to look at all of the cards in Magic's history and craft your desired set for people to draft over and over again. CubeCon had cubes that people brought to the event that people were able to play. I used an online system to rank the cubes I was interested in playing, and they matched me to different cubes throughout the weekend during the main event. There were also tons of people that brought their cube and let people draft it as a side event or during LobbyCon. That's why I was able to draft Aqua's vintage cube on Sunday with all of the cosplay guests.
Hello everyone, my name is Aqua. This is my cube. It is a fully powered vintage cube.
I was filling it out, trying my experience. Because I think since Universal Shuffle is no pressing your gamut of things.
Aqua's cube is filled with artist proofs, signed cards, all of the Power 9, including a Black Lotus. It was wild.
I'm sorry, I got distracted looking at all the cards.
I'm drafting Aqua's vintage cube. So many of the cards are altered and just like so beautiful. There's tons of creativity when making a cube. From the theme of the cube, the cards selected, even the specific rules for your cube. There's endless ways for people to show their creativity. The first cube I drafted at CubeCon was a drinking game cube at the Thursday night Bar Cube event. A group of friends that's been playing Magic together since high school invited me and 2 people from Sweden to play with them. Every card in the cube had been custom made to include taking a sip of your drink as the form of damage, and it really leaned into drinking games and memes. It was honestly a blast to draft, and the game we played was so much fun. I think I surprised everyone, including myself, when I won that game. When you sit down to play a cube, the first step is to see what, if any, special rules the cube designer has for their cube. I played a cube that used packs of 13 cards, a cube that used packs of 18 cards, a cube that used packs of 15 cards, and a cube that used packs of 16. Once we knew the special rules, it was time to shuffle the cube. Cubes have a lot of cards, since most cubes are constructed to be played with 8 people, although there are cubes that can be designed for 2 to 4 players called tubers. I personally have never played one, but I'm super interested. Ryan, who I met this weekend and is absolutely lovely, has some great resources on cubes and tubers. I'll link him in the description. There are also cubes meant for larger groups, such as 16, where there's often 2 pods of 8. which would mean there are even more cards in the cube, so it would still be difficult to shuffle. At CubeCon, we were playing exclusively with pods of 8 people, but that didn't mean that every cube had the same number of cards. When I drafted Gavin's regular Magic Commander Cards cube, we drafted 3 packs of 15 cards with no cards left over, meaning that there were 360 cards in the cube, and every card in the cube was split among the 8 of us. This was one of my favorite cubes. I built a really fun Is It deck and had a blast. Something a little funny was that many people in the pod commented that they didn't often play Commander, and especially not with precons, and so many of the cards in the cube were new for them. I adore Commander precons and knew most of the cards. This was really fun, but I'm not really sure it gave me a huge advantage. And it also did not stop me from reading a card, noticing it had haste, playing the card, and then forgetting to attack. Whoops. Other cubes had cards left over when we were done drafting packs, meaning that not every card in the cube was drafted during our game. This was the case for the sci-fi cube I drafted. The sci-fi cube had lots of artifact synergies and had 40 cards remaining after we drafted our 3 packs of 13. I perhaps unsurprisingly drafted Is It artifacts. Anyways, to shuffle all of the cards, we divided the cards around to each player. We separately shuffled, then passed half of our cards to the next person. We shuffled again and then took half of those cards and passed them to the next person. After many iterations of shuffling and passing, we formed 3 packs of cards of the specific number needed for that cube. We then traded packs around the table so that no one had any of the packs they formed. After that, we were ready to play. I had so much fun playing Magic. I took essentially no video. The nice looking B-roll you see of this video with me in it was taken by my friend Nile. I'll link her in the description and follow her everywhere. We're here, last day. Yay! I loved every cube I got to play this weekend, but there were definitely some cubes that got away that I was super interested in but didn't have a chance to play. One of them was the 100 Ornithopters cube.
Hi, this is Andy from Baltimore, Maryland, here to talk to you about my cube, 100 Ornithopters. Many Magic the Gathering players ask, what if the only creature in all of Magic was Ornithopter? Well, wonder no more. This cube includes 100 copies of the iconic 0-mana 0/2 and absolutely no other creatures.
I'm super interested in playing this cube and desperate to have a chance sometime. I left CubeCon inspired to make my dreams of building my own cube a reality. I have some ideas for the theme of my cube, and I'll definitely update you once I have it built. And if you want to join me on a different deck building adventure, here's a video where I build an entire Commander deck at an event. Check it out right here.